giving me the chance to speak about my experience, my strength and my hope. My name's Paul Skinner. My age is 52. So I'm going to put 52 years in court now. Bear with me. From the age of 1 to 15, I had a normal upbringing. I could not have wished for better. At 15 years old, I used to go and visit my nan. And I used to look out the window on a Thursday or a Friday, and there would be men, ladies, groups, single people, walking up, and I asked her what they were, and she said, they're from they're mental patients from the hospitals, Paul. So, for 3 years, that was my experience. Up and down they'd walk. How far we've come today. To see efforts like this that are being made is wonderful. How far mental health has come. From 15 to 18, I felt different. I felt different to others. I compared myself with others. I was looking in mirrors far, far too much. I knew it wasn't vain, nothing to do with vain. Far, far too much. It affected my schooling. I wasn't going to marry. I'd planned my life. I wouldn't marry. I couldn't be responsible for anything. Not even my own children. Because this illness that I had, I couldn't be responsible for anybody else other than myself. And that makes it quite alone. At 18, I had an interview to be a social worker. I went to York Tech. There was 4 boys, they wanted 3 girls and 1 boy. And I passed. And I said to the teacher, how long before I'm a social worker? 10 years. At 18 you think, nah. I knew I had a problem, which didn't help. 10 years, 28, too much. I said goodbye to it. From 18 to 25, I just went from job to job, literally. Job here, job there. Couldn't settle, back to another job. House to house, my parents had moved away because of my dad's job. But, so I lived in house to house, room to room, literally. Lodgings, because I was so affected with this mirror and these images. And people thought I was strange. I noticed it, I felt it. So, in 1982, I came back to Brighton and met my parents again and was happy to stay with them. Because, as I say, I needed help, but what I didn't know. So, in 1982, I'm going to jump 21 years now and take you up to 2003, which was 7 years ago when I first experienced mental health. So from 1982, I worked for Brighton Council for 21 years. Now, I said that I wouldn't marry, I wouldn't have my own children. But one night, I met my wife. My wife today is Denise. So I thought, well, if I've planned my life and it wasn't to have no responsibilities, what a big thing to take on. But for some reason, it was as if I'd known her for a long time, it felt right, and it was as if I could take the role on. And believe it or not, I became a stepdad, a granddad, and now to this day, I'm a I have, my wife now is a great, which makes me a great granddad. So, very quickly, I weren't going to have nothing. I was just going to be a loner. And all of a sudden, I had everything. When I met Denise, I thought I must tell her, but I don't know what to tell her. All I said was, I've got a problem. I shared a little bit with her concerning the mirror, and she accepted me, and I accepted her in return. But I just didn't know how my life was going to plan out. Even going away on holiday, I'd say to Denise, well, I'll go, but, you know, I'd rather not. Because staying where I was going to stay, the room I was going to stay in, how I'd be feeling from one day to another, I let it start controlling me. I even ended up in London. One day I was out walking, council become private, and private, I don't know if everybody's experienced privatisation, but it cut us like a knife. The council were stripped of their wages and all their conditions, and it hurt me. So what I had with this illness, or this problem at this stage, was a sense of feeling for other people. And, well, I couldn't describe privatisation. It really was cutthroat. I ended up crying, got a train from Brighton Station, and for 5 days spent the next 5 days in London. I said to a chap the day after when I was walking about, "How long have you been up here?" 7 years, he said. I said, "Oh." I thought, "I've just come up today." I said, why have you been up here so long?" He said, "My mum died 7 years ago." He said, "What about you?" I said, "Well," I thought, "you're not going to believe this. There's a lot of trouble at work, and I'm having a carpet laid." And we stayed friends, and then we left each other, and I just kept walking around London. So, you know, what had happened, I literally was having a carpet laid. But now, because I suffer with OCD, I now realise why it was such a burden. The whole house was being recarpeted. So this was there, that should have been there. So you imagine my head. There I was, 5 days in London. But eventually I came back, and I went to my mum and dad's door. My dad answered it, and I said, "Don't shout at me." And he said, "Cuddle me." And that was good. So we thought, well, what are we going to do now? So he paid for me to have reflexology. It was a place in Brighton, and literally from head to toe, like a massage, reflexology, to try and calm me down and to have other thoughts. So really, that's 21 years in a very small space of time. Now we go on to 7 years. It was Christmas. I had an accident. 7 years ago I had an accident. I ended up at A&E. All over the Christmas period, my wife and I, A&E. Doctors. I tried to return to work, but couldn't. Now I had a back problem. So you can imagine, I had the problem that I didn't know what it was, and now I've got a back problem. I put on weight, loads of weight. And now I thought, oh, this is no good. And then I didn't eat. So I started to lose weight. And lost weight I did. To the extent where the crisis team were called in. I went into Meadowfield. As I told you, my experiences when I was young about mental health, and here I was heading for the hospital. About 5 weeks I was in there, and I was diagnosed with BDD and OCD. Just quickly, OCD, I think we're all aware of what it is. BDD, the best way to describe it is look at Michael Jackson, the late Michael Jackson. He had BDD in the same year that I had, but BDD didn't come out until 20 years ago. I've had mine for 40. And same with Michael Jackson. But I've gone a different way to Michael Jackson. He had money, fame and everything, and I've gone through this way.
Sorry, Paul, will you explain what it is for people who don't know?
Okay, it's part of it. It's any part of your body that you don't like. My experiences in with people with a big nose, don't like their hair. I've had girls with trouble with makeup because their eyes are not right. My experiences was